Good morning, guys. It's about 11:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today is the 26th of March, 2015. And I just want to show a setup that I've showed you guys a few times before in the past, but I've worked with 2 or 3 traders over the last couple months who basically they've been so ingrained with using indicators that I couldn't really show them anything else other than indicators is which they feel comfortable with. Pretty much, I'm going to show this setup that happens possibly 2 to 3 times per day, and is a really good setup where someone could take an entry short or long. It really doesn't matter. Obviously, if it's short, you're going to be doing the opposite of what I'm going to be showing you right now. And these traders that I've shown this to, and they've worked on it, they basically became profitable. I'm going to show this chart, as you can see on my screen right now. I normally have this up on another computer with another monitor because I do trade through a different broker also, and I got multiple accounts. So I just whichever one's got the cheapest commission at that time is what I'm trading through. But this setup is very simple. There's no magic formula or anything as far as the tick setups or anything. I use what is a decent sized tick setup for someone who wants to do scalping and can probably pull out 2 to 3 trades per day. Basically, the moving averages that you see on there is the black one is a 20 period dynamic exponential moving average. It's a DEMA, and this is the 20 period triangular moving average. What I normally do is I'm just running a regular MACD, which everybody's familiar with. I do not mess with the settings. I just leave it as the standard 12, 26, 9 exponential, and only enter trades when you see a particular thing happen. We had some good trades this morning, one short and one long, and there was a lot of noise in between. All this noise right here I basically stayed out of, but privately I had sent an email to someone and say, hey, do you see the nice little setup we just had at 2042, which I ended up going long, and I'm still long. And the problem is I'm thinking of probably getting out of this trade right now with my other computer, just because the fact is it's the ticks are starting to get really high, and normally when that happens you do end up with some type of pullback, and we are entering into another area of congestion. But the only thing that I do that I would suggest anyone who's using this setup is only trade at divergent points with the market internals confirming the turn. Basically, there's nothing magical about this. This is the 336 tick chart. This is a 672 tick chart. One's twice the size of the other, so that way you can kind of gauge the trend. And if you notice, as the market started to sell off over here this morning, after a decent size move up, we came to a double bottom. When you take a look at this double bottom, just follow my crosshairs and you go all the way back down, you're starting to get a divergence on the MACD. It's now starting to make a higher bottom on this particular time frame, which is the faster one. But if you also look at the double bottom also on the size that's twice as big on a chart, you're also getting another double bottom here. You're starting to see it's making a higher bottom. But that does not always work by itself. All right, normally on this computer I'll have this chart up all the time, and this one will just be a simple time frame. But I just wanted you to see that this is how I basically follow it. I do not keep any studies at all on this side right here. I just keep it down to here, and I usually have drawings on here also. So let me get my drawings back on here. Show all drawings. I'm normally flipping around these channels all day long. I'm looking for a gap fill when I took that trade, and we're at that gap fill right now. So, I mean, if you hear me hesitate for a couple seconds, let me put my stop loss in. Alright, I got my stop loss set up, which is pretty tight to where we're at right now. I think if we come back down and touch this top, I'm going to be out. Basically, I'm flipping these channels around all day long, and see, because the market really does like to adhere to them. But the thing I want to show too is that besides this divergence that you see here on the MACDs that I just showed, this right here is the most important chart you'll ever use while day trading. When this particular double bottom happens, the nicey ticks were right here. This was also making a higher bottom. And when you see something like this, confirming with something like this in a double bottom, or a double top for that matter, but the double top obviously being reversed. As you can see right now, as we're making a new high right here, the nicey ticks are now starting to make a lower high, which is telling you something. That is telling you right now that less and less stocks are starting to tick up while we're making a new high, which means that this is a potential turning point and a potential short setup. Now, if you take a look also as we're making this new high here, what do we have here? We have a higher MACD, a lower MACD. And when you're starting to see this right here, which is not the perfect way, I kind of like looking at a setup like this, but this normally works also. And you'd have to look at the other time frame. So this could be a short setup and your stop should be right at the top. But it does not take a very long time to learn how to use this. This is not forecasting. To tell you the truth, I do not care what I'm forecasting to happen in the market. All I'm looking at is what is happening right now. Even if I have a feeling that the market should be very, very short biased over a larger time frame, it doesn't matter what happens intraday. The market could bounce up 15 points, and in the following day it'd be down 30 points. But this is the way I would normally trade something like this. It's very simple for someone to use. It's very visual per se, and like I said, the few people that I've taught how to do this, they've been able to make consistent profits, and they do not have to learn how to forecast, learn how to do a whole lot of stuff. Just basic technical analysis is all they really need, and in doing so, I just got stopped out. In doing so, it's very simple. All you need to do is be at your computer when the market is up. So in my case, this would be from 9:30 in the morning till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There are certain times of the day where I really do not like trading all that much, just because the market starts to meander, which is usually around lunchtime. Good moves can happen, but they usually are not happening then. I'm not. Here's another thing too. I am not trading with the trend. I do not care what the trend is on a daily chart. I do not care what the trend is on a weekly chart. I care a little bit what the trend is on an hourly chart. But when it's intraday, anything can happen. And this setup is a good setup to help you anticipate where the market is going to be turning. Not anticipate, but you will visually see this is a very low risk turning point. And when you do so, these are good trades. And I know when I did email the other person this morning, say, hey, did you see that nice setup? I said, hey, we're going to be good for several points here. And so far as it is, from 2042, we've gone up to 2054. That's a 12-point move. And even if you only caught part of it, even if you only caught half of it, that's a good day trade. Most people will be happy to make 6 points in one day. And this is an easy way to do it. Sometimes you might have to sit there for 2-3 hours until you see this setup appear. But when you do see it appear, you have to jump on it. And and the faster you jump on it, the less risk there is, because if you do get stopped out, it's one thing if the market already went up 3 or 4 points and then you jump on this. What if it reversed? But when you see this divergence on the MACD, you see we're starting to cross back up, and you're seeing that this was a higher tick, a lower bottom, a higher bottom, this is a long setup. And the same thing, like I just mentioned a couple minutes ago. Here we are. We made a lower high on the ticks. We've got some divergence. This is a very short-term chart right here. But when you saw this happening right here, this is where you want to get in. You want to try to get in as close to the top as possible. That way, your stop is only a couple ticks away, a point away. And then sometimes you'll get 5, 6 points out of it. And these setups right here show really, really good setups where you're going to make a few points at a time. Something like this, once you start seeing this happen, just stay out. Just stay out, because you're just going to get chopped up and you're going to blow through several $100s in a matter of a couple hours, if that. So anyways, I just thought this might be useful. If you have any questions about it, just ask me on the forum, and that's pretty straightforward, and it should be able to be a good setup for everybody. All right, everybody have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.